Welcome to Biz TV's Beyond the Brand. I'm Kelly Phillips. Sarah Rega is here today. Sarah is a business development officer at Texas First Bank, helping company owners secure funding to start and grow their businesses. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Beyond the Brand. A seasoned small business association and commercial real estate lender, she now serves as vice president and SBA business development officer at Texas First Bank, supporting small businesses across Texas from the Arlington office. We're pleased to welcome Sarah Ward Rega to the show. And Sarah, we appreciate you joining us. Tell us a little bit about your career, how it got started, and what you went into.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, my career started a long time ago. Do we want to say how long ago that was?
That's completely up to you.
I graduated from Texas A&M University in 2010 and knew I wanted to work in commercial real estate field. I had some cousins in the business and it sounded really exciting. So I came up and I was roommates with one of my cousins for a little while and started looking for a job. But it was 2010 in the middle of not so great recession. And I found a job. I started working for an appraisal company and I started doing farm and ranch and some commercial appraisals. And I just started learning a little bit at a time about commercial real estate. And it wasn't long that a title company in town wanted me to come and work for them. I had met them through different real estate organizations, through Crew Fort Worth, is an organization I'm heavily involved in. And I met them through there and they asked me to come over and work. So then I started working in title. And from there, I worked at another title company, and then I worked in property tax protesting, and then found my way into SBA just
by chance.
Just by chance, yes. I started as a marketing director for a certified development company, and I started learning more about the business. I started seeing the borrowers that we were helping and how things were going, and I looked at my boss at the time and said, I think I want to be a loan officer. I think I could do this. And she said, well, I was just wondering when you were going to ask because you're perfect for this. And started training and became a loan officer from there. And then Texas First Bank is a bank I worked with a lot. And I'd referred a lot of business to them and they thought, we need Sarah over here on our side. So I left the certified development industry working on just a very specific SBA 504 loan product. And now I'm working at a bank where I can offer that 504 product as well as 7A and serve customers in a more rounded way and still work in the same industries and circles that I used to. So it's been a very winding road
but fluid at the same time because you're still helping those same people. What was it about helping those people that you were drawn to?
You know, when a deal is closed and the construction's done and the borrower invites you over to see the finished product and you get to walk through and see it in action and see them serving customers or patients or whatever it is, whatever type of business it is. And it's just so exciting to have been a part of that and to have been able to help them make that possible because they call you and it's just a vision or a dream or we need more space, whatever the problem, that they come to you with a problem and to be a part of the solution and put them in that building and see it in action, it just feels great. And I love to be a part of that. Now,
joining Texas First Bank in 2022, it marked a new chapter. How has your experience been so far? And what really drew you to that particular bank? There are so many.
There are so many. And I worked with a lot of them. At my only customers at the time were banks and then, the borrower.
Right.
But Texas First Bank was a bank that I had worked with a lot. I'd referred a lot of business to. I had good friends there. I knew their leadership. I knew their department. And when they asked me to come over, it took a little bit of convincing, but
change is difficult for a lot of people.
But it made sense. Texas First Bank is a community bank and they really care about their customers and their employees. It's a family-owned local bank, and it's been a lot of fun to work for them. They care about their customers and their employees, and we all have a good time doing it, working together.
So it's not really work, is it?
Sometimes, but not
there
always.
There are some days, right?
There's some days.
Well, as an SBA business development officer, you specialize in the 504 and the 7A loans. Can you explain the difference between those two?
Yes, ma'am. So the 7A loan is more versatile. It can be used to purchase real estate. It can be used to purchase vehicles and finance working capital, or it could be used for tenant improvement of a space. If you're renting a location, you need to renovate the inside. It has a lot more flexibility for uses of what it can be used for. It is going to, in general, have a higher interest rate, and the down payment on that can be very flexible depending on the type of deal, the collateral involved, the age of the business. There's a lot more flexibility in how those deals are structured and what it can be used for. The SBA 504 loan is specifically for owner-occupied commercial real estate or equipment and machinery. And we're talking the big, heavy equipment and machinery that's going to be several $100,000 or more. There's some machines that are a few $1,000,000, and so this type of financing makes purchasing those easier. But the 504 program has 10%, 15, or 20% down payment. That depends on if you have been in business more than 2 years, and if your property is special use or multi-use facility. So typically an existing business can purchase a building for 10% down. And the interest rate on the 504 is going to be lower than on what you can typically get on a 7A. It's that program is also a partnership between a certified development company like I used to work for and a bank. So what customers don't always understand up front is they're actually going to get two loans at the end of the day. There's a first lien that the bank holds and a second lien that ends up being your SBA portion of the deal. But those two together in a blended sense is where you get a lower overall interest rate and monthly down payment. And
do the interest rates fluctuate with what's going on with the markets?
So yes, they do. The prime interest rate is going to change, and a lot of rates are based off of prime. When the bank is setting rates, it may be off prime, and sometimes they use other indicators other than prime to base their rates off of. Our bank uses prime, and then the 504 rate is based off of the U.S. Treasury, and that rate is set monthly. So it, sometimes it's changing. It moved down a little bit this month, but it fluctuates a little.
Are there better times than others for people to take advantage of those loans?
It's always a good time to take advantage of an SBA loan. If you qualify and you're eligible for SBA financing, it's always a good time. You're not waiting until this summer for rates to drop or anything like that, because we never know what rates are going to do. We don't have a crystal ball, and lots of things could potentially impact or affect rates. Nobody saw COVID coming, but that resulted in, rate decreases. And we saw a huge influx of deals and volume coming in. But the thing about rates is they go back up and they've come back down. So we've seen a lot of fluctuations in the market lately, and we're not going to predict those. So now is a good time. You can't predict
those. Like you said, you don't have a crystal ball.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us some common misconceptions that entrepreneurs have about the SBA loans?
Yes. I was actually talking to a borrower the other day, and he was evaluating his options and what he should or shouldn't do. And he said, I always kind of was thinking that SBA was a last resort, but I'm starting to learn this is the better option. And I said, yes, it truly is. Just because if you go conventional, your down payment could be 25, 30, 40%, depending on the lending institution and the type of collateral or type of loan. So if you can qualify for an SBA loan and only pay 10% down, you're holding on to your cash because you need your cash for your operating expenses, for your growth, for your expansion, for the unexpected things that pop up after you open a new building that you didn't think about. Oh my gosh, we need more furniture. These things come up, and if you sink all of your cash into your down payment, you have less flexibility in operating once you open.
And you certainly want to be able to pay your employees. And if you don't have that cash, that could be letting people go.
Absolutely. So keeping cash in your business is a top priority for a lot of customers. And once they realize the down payments and everything with SBA, it is a better option if you qualify for it. And then the other thing is SBA takes too long, or there's complaints about all the paperwork. And there are things that can make it take longer. And yes, there's a lot of paperwork. But when you're working with an experienced SBA department, we can help you navigate through those things. We can help take some of that burden off of you and walk you through it and set expectations that it may take a little bit more time, but is that not worth it compared to the savings that you're going to get in, lower interest rate overall and down payment. But if you can be patient and work with a bank that can really walk you through that and assist you through the process, it makes a difference.
Sarah, we need to take a quick break, but when we come back, we want to talk more, so don't go away. We'll be back with more Biz TV right after this. And we're back to talk with Sarah Ward Rega and Texas First Bank. And Sarah, you mentioned that you were quite heavily involved in CREW in Fort Worth. Tell us what CREW is and what they do.
Yes, ma'am. So CREW stands for Commercial Real Estate Women, and they're a global organization of commercial real estate women, and we have chapters all over the globe now. It started in the U.S. and spread to Canada, Europe, Mexico. Wow. And there's more chapters opening all the time now. And locally, CREW Fort Worth it's a community of women whose ultimate goal of CREW is to support women's careers in commercial real estate. And at CREW Fort Worth, we want to do deals together, support one another, and have a dang good time doing it is our slogan. At CREW, we have a dang good time.
I love that. You're also serving president of NTAGGL. What is that?
So NTAGGL is the North Texas Association of Government Guaranteed Lenders. I'm currently the chairwoman of the board. I finished my presidency about a year and a half ago, but I still am overseeing the board and participating in that. So what is that organization? It's an organization for government guaranteed lenders. So other SBA lenders it's a group of SBA bankers, and then associates and other businesses that support our industry. And that group is a wealth of information. We provide training to our members and networking, and it's great to know other SBA lenders because we can't all do every deal that we look at. And just because I can't do it doesn't mean it's not a good deal and doesn't mean it's a customer that shouldn't be helped. So, hey, I can't do that one, but I think my buddy at this bank can do it. So let me get you connected. It helps me provide more answers, more services, more options to customers, even if I can't help them. I hate picking up the phone and talking to a customer and just saying, no, I can't help you. No, but let me refer you. There's also other resources, maybe they're not quite ready to get approved for a loan, but there are SBA funded organizations like the Small Business Development Centers, and those are located in each county. You can go online and look up Small Business Development Center, and they're going to have resources available for business owners. They can help you with putting together your financial package and applying for a loan. They can help you prepare projections. They can work on your business plan with you. And their goal is to support borrowers to get approved for financing.
Is that the best place for a small business to go first before they come to you?
It depends. Some borrowers may be a little further along and more advanced and have a good business plan or an existing business, and they may not need that much support. But for someone starting a business and doesn't really know where to begin, that is a great place for them to begin. But you can't call me too soon. I'm always going to take the time and talk to a borrower, and then I'll let them know, hey, you need more support. Let's go here and like help them get you ready. Or, I may not do loans of the size or type that they're asking for, but there's other maybe CDFIs that can do those smaller types of loans for startups or different types of businesses. So, I always welcome a phone call and want to give a customer, an entrepreneur, the time to discuss their business and what ways I can support them or try to get them support somewhere else.
Is there any challenges being a woman in commercial real estate?
Of course not. We have crew. I'd say not, in the banking industry, I feel very well supported by my organization, our bank. And there's lots of inclusion there, but it wasn't always this way.
No.
If it weren't for crew and the founders and other women, that didn't set the groundwork and really clear the path for us, we wouldn't be where we're at today. So, there have been some women in crew and some mentors of mine say, I'm so proud of you guys. Look at you girls go. Y'all are doing so great. And it's like, but you walked so we could run. You cleared the path and mentored us and supported us and got us to where we are.
Yeah.
And then, working with other men in the industry that get that and also support it, I feel well supported in my career.
That's nice. The financial landscape, as we all know, ever changing. How do you stay ahead in industry changes?
We just have to do what we can to keep up on training and watch what's happening in the market and have conversations with our borrowers. And when we sense things are changing, when we see things are changing, setting expectations and just trying to be, we try to be ahead of the curve, but, in some senses, things are happening to all of us. We know tariffs are coming and what is that going to do to construction prices and all of these things. So we want to make sure that when we're looking at construction budgets, how much of this may or may not be affected. So we're talking more to our contractors. We're talking more to our construction monitoring companies, and we're paying attention to trends of the industries that touch ours and support our industry, to just try and be prepared and make sure our customers know what we're looking for. And maybe we need to make sure there's extra cash available and built into the project or extra time.
Because there could be a curveball thrown. You just never know when it's going to happen.
Supplies could take longer to come in, and we may need to build, we may need more interim interest. We may not get to the finish line when we thought we were going to.
I think everybody is kind of shy after COVID because there were so many delays, especially in construction. That was the time when we ourselves were building a house and you couldn't get windows for 6 months. So it does delay your loans and getting it back out to people.
It does. So, at least we're not in COVID times. It is better. But there's still some things that are, trickling effects of that we just have to be aware of and plan for.
Can you share a success story that your guidance has helped one of your clients through?
Sure. I think with my varied experience and my career in different industries that I'd worked for, it helps me see a little bit more of the red flags, or helps me just think of and know other questions to ask to find out what's maybe going on behind the scenes. And I had a customer that was about to go under contract and purchase some land and do some ground up construction. And there were just some things that didn't look right, that didn't quite smell right. The down payments and money that they were wanting and the agreement with broker, it didn't feel right. So I started asking some questions. I got them connected to another broker for advice, and then we ended up unraveling a lot of things that proved that my suspicions were correct, and they ended up not going under contract with that property and found another piece of land and have since opened and constructed their building, and things are going absolutely wonderful. But if we hadn't have kind of sniffed those things out earlier in the process, they could have lost a lot of money.
Yeah, but it was thanks to you and your cohorts for figuring that out and just having that awareness.
Yeah, it's helpful with the background to be able to think through and ask those questions. And we're very happy that we made it there and made that change.
Sarah, where can folks find you if they want more information on one of these loans or just find out more about what you do?
Absolutely. I can be reached at Texas First Bank. My email is srega, R-E-G-A, at texasfirst.bank. And I would love to help businesses in Texas. So I can only serve in the businesses inside of Texas. But there are SBA lenders in every state. So if I'm not around you or close enough to help you, do reach out and ask your bank about SBA. And if they don't like SBA or do SBA, then find another bank that does, because it's a wonderful program and I can't advocate for it enough.
Sarah, thanks so much for joining us today and sharing your story and your insight on SBA and loans. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back after this. Thanks for watching Biz TV's Beyond the Brand. Be sure to subscribe to the Biz TV YouTube channel, where you'll find full episodes of this show, a 24/7 live stream, fresh Biz TV content, and a few surprises each week to help you stay inspired.